What's going on, guys? My name is Triforce Addiction. Welcome back to another COD mobile video. So I've been holding out on discussing this topic for quite a long time because I never really thought we were at the right moment to discuss this. But months have passed and nothing has happened since. And what I'm referring to is, of course, as you guys can see from the title of the video, it's my theory as to why we never actually got an animated camo as a completionist camo. So just in case you guys are relatively new, or there are some of you out there who didn't play this game around season 8 or season 9 of last year, let me give you guys a brief history lesson as to how we got the completionist camos that we all know and love today. So well, I wouldn't say love, but that we all know. So around season 8, we were given an announcement by the developers of COD Mobile saying that this game was pretty much going to get an overhaul for season 9. Basically, the gunsmith was going to be making its way into this game, because previously we were only given basic attachments for every weapon. We had a long barrel, we had a grip, we had I guess a quick draw grip, and just a basic red dot sight, but that's all we had. We didn't have marksman barrels, we didn't have extended light barrels, we didn't have monolithic suppressors, tactical suppressors, lightweight suppressors, multiple variations of magazines. We didn't have all that until season 9. And within that update, I know a lot of people playtested it back in the day. We were also going to be presented with the first set of completionist camos, that of course being gold, platinum, and Damascus. So of course there were a lot of mixed opinions when it came to the completionist camos, and that's mainly because all of these completionist camos came from Modern Warfare. So they didn't like the fact that we weren't getting the basic gold, diamond, and dark matter type camos. We're just getting more stationary camos from a game that literally everyone hated, even at its prime. And when people were able to play test the update, the gunsmith update and everything, they did get to see the gold, platinum, and Damascus as a sneak peek, and they weren't satisfied because they were pretty ugly. I mean, they weren't reflective at all. There was nothing really appealing about them. But eventually they did make some changes to them, and they made them more reflective, more worth grinding. But the thing was that a lot of people were discouraged because they didn't want to get gold on every single weapon just to get another stationary camo. Typically, when it comes to a Call of Duty series, whenever you get gold on everything, you're expected to get a animated type of camo, whether it be reactive or not, like, dark matter or black sky or something like that. So yeah, understandably, a lot of people were pissed. But COD Mobile did say that Damascus wasn't really finalized. There was a possibility, and they even said themselves that they were going to make their own type of dark matter, something that we probably never seen before. And then, of course, all of us were hyped because maybe this time we're going to get an animated camo for getting gold on everything. So when Season 9 finally got released to the general public, we were only given gold and platinum camo. I mean, which was fine with us because we already knew they were working on a end game camo. So I was just assuming, I'm sure a lot of people were assuming that they just needed more time, like maybe a season or two to release it. So we were okay with that. And I was very excited. A lot of us were very excited because we thought we were going to get something special. So all of us understandably grinded our way to platinum on every single weapon, and we just waited for the time being until the final camo came out. And then at the very last minute, around season 11 or season 10, they decide to give us the middle finger and just say, oh, we're just going to release Damascus after all. So all of us were just like, dude, what the fuck? It was obvious that a lot of people, upon this announcement, were really pissed off because there were a lot of players that were already grinding for platinum, and hell, maybe some people already got platinum on all their weapons by that time. I was one of those people. So yeah, it felt like we were given false hope for this. I mean, we all grinded because we believed that we were going to get something crazy, like maybe dark matter or some sort of animated camo or something badass from COD Mobile, something that was exclusive to only this mobile platform, when that was never really the case. When they released the Damascus camo, it was literally the same one from the Season 9 test beta, or like the test build. So we're just thinking to ourselves, what the fuck were you doing these 2 months? Like for these past 2 seasons, we assumed that you were working on something amazing when you guys weren't doing shit at all. So yeah, obviously a lot of us were like really upset about that. But then again, we grinded it, we got it. I mean, it wasn't really a bad camo, don't get me wrong. At the time, the first variation of Damascus was very shiny compared to this one that we have today. And, I was pretty satisfied with it, but the problem was that it was unfinished. I mean, it wasn't the same Damascus that we saw like in Modern Warfare. And I understand that because, mobile gaming, or I guess, tablets don't have the same processing power as like a PS4 or an Xbox One. So it's understandable why it would look a little bit different compared to the main console version. But the thing is that it felt like very little work was done with it. Like it was just the same Damascus picture pasted onto the gun multiple times and just given a reflective surface. So like I said, don't get me wrong. I mean, the camo was pretty cool. I mean, on some guns, really, to be honest. I mean, the only gun that really looked good on were the ones that had a more like flat surface. Like for example, the Razorback, right? If you put gold or platinum on it, it looks really shiny because it has a very, very flat type of surface. But when it comes to like the M4, the M16, the Locust, it wasn't really that great. And also the problem with it was that it was really, really dark. So, I mean, they promised us that they were going to make a lot of changes to Damascus, like, going forward, so it could have a bigger appeal to people that want to grind for it. And, I mean, I was cool with it until they released Season 13. So, I'm sure a lot of you guys remember this. Season 13's version of Damascus, up to, like, I think Season 1, was god-awful. I mean, oh my god, like they basically took off the reflective surface and enlarged the image just to put it around the gun, and honestly it was awful. I mean, a lot of people didn't even want to grind for Damascus anymore. I'm sure a lot of people stopped the grind because of that Damascus update. I mean, if they were to add some sort of reflective surface to that Season 13 version of Damascus, it probably would have been a good camo, but it just wasn't. I mean, there was no reflective surface. It looks like it was just like poorly painted on a gun. And it's awful, man. I'm sure, like I said, it stopped a lot of people from grinding, and people just stuck to gold or platinum because Damascus was literally the ugliest endgame completionist camo, even far worse than chrome camo from World War II. I mean, it was a complete joke. But at the same time, during Season 13, that's when Diamond came out. So people were more inclined to grind out the game for that camo instead of Damascus, basically increasing the player retention by a lot. I mean, you guys saw it. Like, the moment Season 13 came out, everyone stopped what they're doing just to grind out Diamond for the weapons that they wanted. And people were playing for an extensive amount of time. I mean, I got Diamond on every single thing. I literally spent the entire 13th season of this game grinding out Diamond for every single weapon. It took them about maybe 2 to 3 seasons, 2-3 months, give or take, to finally adjust it to a satisfactory level. And that's the one that we have today. I mean, I'm fine with it. I mean, it looks a lot better than it ever did before. It could use a little bit of reflective touches here and there for some weapons, but overall, it's a lot better than it ever was before. And I'm happy. I mean, honestly, that's what it should have been from the start. I mean, the first version of Damascus that was released was all right with me. I mean, I didn't feel like they really needed to change it. But, I mean, they did. It was shit, and then they changed it again, and it was all right. So, yeah. The Completionist camos are pretty lackluster in this game. I mean, when you see Platinum camo, you would think of Modern Warfare because the Platinum covers the entire gun in that game. But here it only covers, just the body and the barrel, and that's pretty much it. But even then, it's not really that great. I mean, it's barely reflective at all on some weapons, other than just the ones that have a flat texture on them. But, I mean, when it came to the optional Completionist camo, which is, of course, Diamond, where you have to get like 150 games with 10 kills in each of them. I mean, yeah, Diamond is by far the best Completionist camo in this game. But, it kind of always bothered me that we never got anything that was animated, something that was truly worth grinding for. But then again, I thought to myself, I mean, Damascus, I feel like it's a very fair Completionist camo for getting gold on all weapons, and specifically because of one thing. I mean, we have the privilege on playing on whatever map that we want, meaning that we could just get the long shots instantly. We have the ability to play against bots, meaning that we could get very, very easy headshots. Of course, the bots have been buffed as of recently, so now they could see you through the entire multiverse. But, I mean, you still have that privilege, nonetheless. So yeah, I would understand why you would get something a little lackluster for Final Completionist Camo. But the thing is that I've always wondered why we never got a animated dark matter camo for those who completed diamond on everything, because you know, even after you get diamond on every single weapon, you don't get anything after that. You just get bragging rights and that's pretty much it. But it would be nice to have some sort of animated camo for getting diamond on every single thing, at least up to all the weapons from season 9 of last year. But really, I think I figured out the true reason as to why we don't have an animated completionist camo in this game. And I think it's a very valid one at that. I'm sure a lot of you guys have never thought about this, and once you guys hear this, you're going to be like, wow, you're absolutely right. So I think the real reason behind the fact as to why we never got an animated completionist camo like Dark Matter is strictly because of Activision's profits. I feel like if they were to release an animated Dark Matter camo as a Final Completionist camo, even if it's for getting diamond on every single weapon, I wholeheartedly believe that it would negatively affect their sales. So I'm sure a lot of you guys are actually confused as to why I would say something like this, right? But let me tell you, like, just look at how good it looks like on the Razorback and the ICR. It's upon one of the best epic skins this game has to offer, even though it's only reserved for 2 weapons. Now picture this camo on literally every single weapon on this game. That includes the Locust, the AS Val, all the meta weapons, the Bison, the shotguns. Would you be interested in buying any other skin in this game, including Legendary, if you had this one in your possession for every single weapon? And this is where the problem truly lies, because like I said, the Razorback Dark Matter, or just the Dark Matter camo in general, is among one of the greatest skins in this game, despite its rarity and despite the fact that it's not a legendary, meaning it has no death effects or any extra features. Yeah, this skin pretty much trumps almost all the skins in this game. So are you really going to be inclined to buy a legendary or an epic skin for a particular weapon, knowing full well that you have this badass looking camo on every single weapon? Of course not. To look at this in a more deeper perspective, we have to look at the mindset of a player that unlocks this for every single gun. Like, picture them looking at a draw like a mythic or a legendary. You know, they're going to think to themselves, I mean, why am I going to spend $150 or $300 or even more than that on a skin that doesn't even look as good as Dark Matter? So you see what's happening here, right? People are not going to be motivated to buy legendary skins or mythic skins because the Dark Matter camo pretty much trumps most of them. Of course, you can't really blame the player in this scenario. It's a perfectly normal reaction. Why are they going to spend over $100 on a skin that probably doesn't even look as good as Dark Matter? And keep in mind, like I said, this is an epic. It doesn't have any special effects, and yet it still trumps a lot of legendary skins, which leads us to our next point, which is the blueprints. We can't put our completionist camos on our blueprints. So why are we going to spend more money on like blueprints that we can't even showcase our completionist camos on? Like, it just feels like a waste of money. We can't have the best of both worlds in Call of Duty Mobile when in Black Ops Cold War or Modern Warfare, you actually are able to put like Damascus or DM Ultra or even Dark Aether on your blueprints. This game does not allow that. So basically, in short term, they're afraid that if they put an animated completionist skin into this game as an unlockable, it's pretty much going to outshine all the mythics and all the legendary, if not most of them. And it would just demotivate people to spend their money on this game, knowing full well that they have a completely badass completionist camo skin. Which obviously there is an easy solution to this. Just let us put our fucking completionist camos on our blueprints. It's not that hard. I understand there are so many blueprints out there that you would have to design all these camos meticulously for them to be, you know, completionist camo friendly. Why don't you just start off on the legendaries first and the mythics as well? so people are more inclined to buy them, knowing full well that they could put their completionist camos on them. I mean, in my personal opinion, that's like really the only obstacle. I mean, it's not that hard. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, or maybe I'm just being stupid. But I'm sure a lot of you guys would see my point. I mean, if you were to have something like this, like something as badass as dark matter on every single weapon, would you buy anything? Like, would you be interested in buying anything, like knowing that this is probably one of the best skins? I mean, no one's going to want to waste their money on crates anymore. And obviously not now, because, I mean, you can't even put your completionist camos on them. So why even bother? So yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they put this into this game, no one's going to fucking spend money. So yeah, that's the reason. I feel like that's the ultimate reason as to why we got Damascus and Diamond as completionist camos instead of dark matter. And I have a very strong feeling that's why we got Damascus as our final completionist camo for getting gold on everything. Because remember, like I said earlier in the video, they did promise us that they were going to make a different type of endgame camo, but that never happened. And I'm sure this is the reason why. And somehow, by some miracle, if this is not making sense to any of you out there, think about the meta of this game right now. What do you think people are using? Just the Bison, the QXR? They're not going to bother to use anything else. Why? Because those are the best weapons. That's pretty much the same thing that's going on here. Like, no one's going to want to use something that's shittier in order to win. They're just going to use what's the most powerful. That's the typical mindset of a Call of Duty player. I know a lot of people would question, I mean, if they were to put this specific dark matter as a completionist camo, what about the people that bought the ICR dark matter as well as the Razorback dark matter? Well, I mean, just refund them the amount of COD points it took for them to get it. I mean, simple. Or just, you know, give them like some sort of like compensation or something like that. But I mean, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say here. I mean, I'm hoping maybe one day they could actually give us a true animated completionist camo. And remember, it doesn't have to just be this one. It could be DM Ultra, it could be Dark Ether, it could be Exclusion Zone, Black Sky, Solar. There's so many animated completionist camos that they could think of to put in this game. It doesn't just have to be this one. But anyways, like I said, that's all I have to say on this subject. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys subscribe. Make sure to leave a like as well. Make sure to share this with others. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.